Now, if you'll recall, I was rudely interrupted while I was relaxing on the beach minding my own business by a gentleman who thought sticking a gun to my back was a better idea than just saying hello. I told him to just take the battery. I didn't have any money. I was just a woman stranded on an island. If he wanted to rape me, he'd have to shoot me first. Like, buy me dinner before trying to poke me with your weapon. Jeez. He looked confused and embarrassed for a second, then put his gun away, probably recognizing he didn't actually need it here. He said his name was Nolan. He asked me if my name was Rin, and I gave him the dirtiest look before telling him yes and asking him how he knew that. He told me that our employer sent him along for backup in case something went wrong. When he saw my partner on board the ship, but no sign of me when it started to leave the island, he took a boat and came ashore to look for the body. He found my boat hidden and figured I had to be around here somewhere. He also found several cameras on the island, so he figured I was captured by the criminals hiding out here. I asked him what he meant by that. From my opinion, the ladies were roughing it in the wilderness, but I saw absolutely no evidence of them committing any crimes. Well, except for Alex poisoning me, of course. He took out a phone and showed me an image of Alex wearing a suit. He said she was wanted for hacking, theft of property, financial crimes, and smuggling. When my face fell in shock, he figured out I knew exactly who she was. I am a terrible liar, after all. Well, it didn't help I already didn't like her very much. I told him I was staying with a women's group on the island. Alex was, yes, hiding out among them. She was doing tech support stuff. Yes, I think she did put up cameras on the island for supposed security purposes. But the women were living off the grid. They weren't using tech, they weren't talking to other peoples, they were isolated and living simply. Nolan showed me another photo of a small hut on the dock of the shoreline where Alex was meeting with a shady-looking pirate captain. It looked like they were trading barrels and boxes. I said, okay, well, we get supplies for the seedy tavern here in the settlement. The girls have got to eat, right? He showed me the next photo. It was a crate of guns. Then a crate of drugs. Then barrels of fish and water. Okay, so clearly not only is Alex taking resources from the island without permission from Karen, she was also trading in illegal goods for cash. Why did I take this job again? Oh, right, desperation. Clearly, Nolan was a better investigator than me. He'd been on the island a lot shorter than I have, and he already broke the case wide open. I felt a little out of my depth here. He told me that the drugs and weapons were being sold to gangs on the local islands, but this isn't actually why our employer hired us. Alex had stolen a piece of tech from him, very lucrative. She posed as an employee in order to steal the prototype. They thought she was working for China, but it looks like she's just an individual profiteer. No funds were actually going back there. They thought they recognized the technology interfering with the satellite in this region, which is why they were investigating the area. I angrily told him that I was not informed of any of this. I was just supposed to map out the island. Nolan said our employer thought it would be safer if I went in first as a decoy, or a distraction. Just in case Alex was on the island, they didn't think she'd be suspicious of a woman tourist. Oh, she was suspicious, all right. Woman was paranoid. Only now I understood why. I asked what our employer expected from me now then. He said that because I had already infiltrated the enemy camp, I should try and help him get in there so we can secure the base. I'm an analyst, not a soldier. I was like, whoa, hold on a second. It's 4 women in a women's sanctuary. There's no king of thugs, criminals, and there were no weapons and drugs there. No secret stash. Okay, I didn't mention the giant emerald statue of Gaia. One of those women literally came to the island on the same boat we did. She was totally innocent. I was pretty convinced Karen and Farah were too. He said that was interesting. Perhaps if we just retrieved the stolen tech, maybe we could lure Alex out somewhere where he could arrest her. That might be sufficient for our employer. But we'd probably need to see some sort of proof that Alex was acting alone. Wouldn't it just be easier to let him in the base and do this work himself? I was pretty sure Horny wasn't going to let him near the girls, and I kind of like the big shell dope now. Didn't want to see him or Nolan take each other out over Alex. I told him to let me try, so he gave me a spare camera and a beacon and told me to activate it when it was safe to meet next. If he didn't hear back in a couple days, he'd just try to enter the base himself. I left him on the beach and headed back to the tavern. It was starting to get dark when I finally got back. I grabbed the wood backpack and started the long trek up the mountain. I had hidden the battery at the tavern. I figured it was safer to leave it there than try and lug it with me with all that wood. My mind raced as I was plodding slowly up the hill. How the hell was I going to find evidence to clear the other woman? Could I pull off spy mode? I mean, I'm just an analyst, right? Should I tell Karen what Alex has been up to? Would she believe me or defend Alex? I had no idea how this was going to turn out, but I didn't have much of a choice, did I? I didn't want the girls to be arrested for Alex's mistakes. And I still kinda did want to get paid. As I was starting to lose daylight, I noticed a light up ahead of me on the path. Alex and Farah appeared right out of my thoughts. Apparently Mindy had been scolded for leaving me behind in the dark, and they were looking to see I didn't injure myself coming back up the mountain at night. I apologized for being dumb. I thought I had enough time to get back. Technically, it was Nolan's fault, but I wasn't going to say that, was I? Alex started to tell me off, but Farah cut her off. She said it was all right. Sometimes you needed to make mistakes to learn. There was no long-term damage to anyone, just some lost time. I thanked Farah and apologized again. Oh, I think my stress levels are going to be going crazy for the next couple of days.